Today we're going to be making a pumpkin spice pancake, or I should say a chocolate pumpkin spice pancake. We're going to be using chocolate protein today. So this recipe is based off of my banana oat recipe, which you can find in our blog. And now we're just substituting what would be bananas for pumpkin puree. You can also use sweet potatoes or applesauce in substitution. So whatever you're in the mood for, you can make. So we'll start kind of going what we're going to be adding to our mixture here. So we'll be starting with about a cup of oats. I used rolled oats from Bob Red Mills. They're gluten-free. We'll use about a half a cup of pumpkin puree. We have 2 eggs. These are actually fresh eggs as well, which should make them taste even better. We're going to be using 1 scoop of protein, which is actually from Fit Force Nutrition. I'll show you their guys' stuff here. If you're ever looking for a really good supplement or really good protein powder, Fit Force is a great option. They're local to Michigan, which is even better. We love supporting our local companies. So this is a great brand. Make sure you check them out. We'll also be adding in one of my other favorite products, which is Nuts and More. They have their limited edition fall collection out. I guess you'd call it a collection. It is part of the collection is the pumpkin pie, spice pumpkin pie. It's a really good flavor. You taste all those spices that you would normally get in a pumpkin pie or those fall flavors. We'll be adding some baking powder as well, just to get those pancakes to rise, and of course some extra cinnamon and vanilla. For our toppings today, we're going to be adding some blackberries, some fresh blackberries. I cut them up for us, and some pumpkin seeds to fit in with our fall flavors. Let's start adding them in. Well, depending on how thick you like your pancakes, you can just mix them by hand, but I like my oats to be mixed a little bit or blended a little bit more. So we're going to be using the Ninja today to blend everything together. So let's start adding our ingredients. So we're going to add 1 cup of our rolled oats, our half a cup of pumpkin puree, liquids and all. Make sure everything gets out of there. We have our 2 eggs. Make sure not to get any shells in there. We don't want to crunch on anything today. Toss that aside. Yes, these are some locally grown eggs, so they're fresh as can be. Let me rinse my fingers real quick. Always like to keep things clean in the kitchen. Next we'll add our 1 scoop of protein. Like I said, we're using the chocolate protein. You can also use vanilla or any other flavor you would like. We're gonna add that right on top here. Next we'll add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. You can also use baking soda, that'll work just fine. And I've actually even made these with omitting the baking powder. Since they have a pretty good texture to them, sometimes this helps to keep them a little bit fluffier and rise a little bit more, but it's not 100% necessary. We'll also add about a tablespoon of our Nuts and More spiced pumpkin pie. Never go wrong with it. You can also add any other peanut butter or nut or seed butter of your choice. Another good option that you can do too is actually use this for your toppings. So instead of a syrup, you can even just melt some peanut butter or melt your Nuts and More and drizzle it right on top of your pancakes. Alright, let's add some cinnamon because we can never have enough flavor. I'm all into the fall flavors, so everything, pumpkin, cinnamon, you name it. Add a little bit of our vanilla extract. Each one I'm adding about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon in there. And I'm gonna blend now. And I will say, I always kind of keep about 1/4 of a cup of milk out, just in case it is too thick and you want it a little bit thinner, or you want to make a little bit more of your batter. So bear with the noise for a second. We're going to blend everything. looking. A little tip over here. It's looking really good. Give it a little stir. I always like to test out the texture. I actually will add a little bit of milk in there. Like I said, depending on my mood, I like it a little bit thicker. Sometimes I like it a little bit thinner. Total preference. We're just gonna add a little bit of our milk. So I added maybe about 1/8. Toss this to the side for a second. We'll blend one more time here. That should be perfect. I want to take a look now. We got a little bit thinner of a batter. Perfect. We'll get rid of this now. And we'll give one final stir before we cook these babies. Try to get everything off of here. We don't want anything to go to waste. Alrighty, we'll toss this to the side real quick. Like I said, we'll give it one last little stir just to make sure everything is fully blended, especially off the walls here. Especially when you have the blender in, sometimes right around the base where you add the blender, it gets a little chunky, so we want to combine everything nicely. Alrighty, so earlier before I even started, I did get our pan preheated here. So turn up just a little bit more. What we're gonna do now is cook our pancakes. So, got our pan on about medium heat here, adding a little Pam just so things don't stick. Alright, let's get rid of this. Turn some lights on so we can see here. Alrighty, we're coming over. Try not to make too much of a mess. But we're just gonna put our pancakes right on top here. And you can make them as big or as small as you need to. I, for some reason, like smaller pancakes. Like I said, it's total preference. And you can just kind of form them. They'll take about a minute or two to cook on each side just to get it fully cooked through. But I love this recipe because it is so versatile. You can use, like I said, if you have pumpkin puree works really well, applesauce, bananas, or even sweet potatoes. And all of these recipes and combinations you can find on our blog, so make sure you check those out. Let's see how they're doing. Yeah, we got a little more few minutes on here before we can flip them. And like I said, we'll add whatever toppings you want, but today we have our blackberries and pumpkin seeds. And while these are finishing cooking, I'll show you what syrup we're going to be using. So today we have No Better Foods syrup. It is a very low sugar. Let you even see the ingredients here. They're a great product. They have, especially if you follow a keto diet or anything like that, or just on a low carb diet, these are great products. I probably have so many of the products. Their cookies are really good as well if you haven't tried those. But that'll be for our topping today as well. Let's check these pancakes, see how they're doing. Need a little bit more time. Sometimes these cook quick, sometimes they are a little bit slower. Like I said, it all just depends on how thick and how big they are. But I love these recipes. And another option you can do, say, is you're out of oats and you only have your pumpkin puree and eggs, you can use that. So I like to do equivalent, so doing about 2 to 4 eggs for, say, a cup to a half a cup of puree. And that even goes for the bananas as well. But like I said, you can get all those recipes on our blog. Let's see if we can get a good flip in here now. There we go. See how good my flipping skills are. Sometimes they're superb, sometimes they don't come out. But yeah, so now we got the other side cooking. We want that nice golden brown. Perfect. Some other topping ideas is other fresh fruits. You can make a coconut cream, whipped cream, super easy to make, or any other kind of cream-based whipped cream you want to make. I always say the more toppings, the better. I love to load these breakfasts up. And if you're like me, you're a huge breakfast fan, whether it's a sweet breakfast or a savory breakfast. And you can, like I said, I could eat these for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Good, so we'll kind of just make sure these get fully cooked all the way through. Good. A little move around here. Yeah, you don't want your pan too hot, you don't want it too low. Find that nice happy medium because every stove is a little bit different. So around about medium heat. Let those go about another 30 seconds before we unplate them. And we'll aim for, we'll cook about 2 more here. Alrighty. Let's get these 2 off here. We'll start plating. Alrighty. Let's make 2 more here. The more the merrier, right? Give a nice little mixture here. I'm just gonna pour, make it a little bit easier, a little less messy. Form that pancake. I'm gonna come over to this side. This one will be a little bit awkward shaped. Sometimes we like to connect our pancakes. You know, gives it a little character, I think. But yeah, so while these are cooking, if you guys ever have any recommendations or would like to see anything, make sure you comment on below. We love to get your feedback on what you guys want to see. Breakfast and desserts and snacks are usually everyone's favorites because we all love that sweet taste. But if you do, let us know. We'd love to be able to provide you what you want to see. Alrighty. Make sure give these guys a little bit of separation here. Yeah, too, and like I said, the recipes between the banana oats, the banana pancakes, and the sweet potato waffles that I made, which are on the blog, are all very, very similar recipes. They all involve oats, some type of base, whether that's your pumpkin, your bananas, your applesauce, sweet potatoes, whatever it is. So you can kind of mix and match in between those. So feel free to play around with your recipes, how you like them, what you don't like about them. Make them unique to you and your flavors. Alrighty. Looks like we're ready to get a little flip in here. There we go. Throw that baby over there. Don't want to smash them too much. We'll let those babies cook some more. Sometimes they come out beautiful, but sometimes I like, you see everyone's different pancakes coming out, but you know, it gives them a character, it gives them a unique touch. Okay, we'll let those cook about 1 more minute and we'll add all of our toppings on here. And then we get to dive in and try these. These get cooked all the way around. And these are all really quick, simple things that you can make, especially if you're in a rush. All you have to do is blend, cook, and go. Maybe about 30 more seconds for these guys, and they will be all set. It's hard to sometimes have patience for things while they're cooking, but just know they are getting ready for you to devour. So have those patience in there. Alrighty. We'll scoop these off. We'll plate them right. Put a big one on the bottom there. Make them evenly nice sizes here. Alright, we'll turn that pan off and let's come over here and add our toppings. Clear some space here. First, let's add our no syrup. And always add as much as you would like. You can't go wrong with that sugary flavor. We'll add our chopped up blackberries. We'll just sprinkle these right on top. Let them fall where they naturally want to go. And last but not least, we'll finish off with some pumpkin seed for that fall flavor, fall look. Sprinkle these guys all around. And then I gotta grab my fork here, because we can't leave today without trying these. So here we have it, our chocolate pumpkin spice pancakes. So here we go, let's try our first bite here. Trying to get everything involved, the pumpkin seeds and everything else. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time to see what we make.